Welcome to Melt. I'm Suresh Venkat. Last month, Indian multinational IT services company HCL revealed a new brand identity. Now known as HCLTech, there's also a new logo and a new brand statement, which is Supercharging Progress. To know more, we're in conversation today with Jill Kouri, Global Chief Marketing Officer, HCLTech. How does a rebranding exercise help grow a global B2B brand? And why was this the right time to reveal it? Let's find out as we get ready to melt with Jill Kouri. Jill, on our show, we speak to a lot of B2C marketers and we have a sense of what B2C marketing is all about. Could you give us a sense of what your job entails? What does B2B marketing for a tech giant involve?
Not only B2B marketing, but primarily B2B services, although HCLTech does have a products division. But B2B services marketing is challenging at the outset because there's no product, right? So it's hard to market something that you can't see. Mm-hmm. I've been doing B2B marketing since 1999. And I think over the years, there was a belief that because B2B marketing was selling directly to corporates and not directly to consumers, that perhaps you had to be a little bit more conservative or a little bit, in some cases, more staid. And nowadays, and what we embraced at HCLTech as we've relaunched our new brand, is we've taken a nod from B2C marketing and we've become, I believe, more playful, more accessible, more consumer friendly, because we're not only marketing to corporates or clients, but we have 220,000 people inside the organization that we want to feel as brand advocates for HCLTech. And we're recruiting thousands of young people day in and day out who are just starting their careers. They're coming out of the world of consumer marketing. They're accustomed to interacting with what they see on social media every day. So B2B and B2C, I see the lines really blurring today. And I don't think B2B brands can be successful unless they take a nod and influence from B2C marketing. So I'd like to think that sort of the boundaries are blurring and the worlds are colliding a bit. And a lot of that has come out in our new brand positioning and our new visual identity. We're getting great responses from our employees and young people around the world.
Let's talk about your new positioning, Supercharging Progress. Tell us a little bit about the objectives of this rebranding exercise.
So I joined about 15 months ago as the CMO. And one of the big reasons that HCLTech hired me was to have their broad-based brand awareness catch up with the magic that was inside the company. The company had grown quite a bit into the US and Europe in particular, off the back of great client referrals, off of sustained client relationships. But broadly speaking, the universe of prospective clients didn't really know too much about HCL technologies. So when I started, I embarked on quantitative research, broad-based quantitative research, a lot of qualitative research with focus groups, and then interviews with our existing client base and our existing employee base. And we found the territory that eventually led to Supercharging Progress pretty rapidly. The reason that I think Supercharging Progress works was the territory that we found was that we've always been wholeheartedly committed to our clients and their desire to achieve business outcomes at speed. We came from a really strong positioning of relationship beyond the contract. And that spoke to the fact that we're extremely flexible. We don't change order our clients in the middle of a crisis when we need to really come to their aid or help them do something at speed. And we were building very strong trust-based relationships with clients, and we were highly dependable and trusted. But as we're moving into our next phase of growth, we were not capitalizing on the other things that we were hearing from clients and what they appreciated about us. And that is the ability to mobilize rapidly, to scale rapidly, to bring solution accelerators to bear. Everyone needs to move fast on their transformation journeys. And during COVID, we proved out that we were able to truly get clients where they needed to go more quickly than they've ever moved before. And I think those insights led us to this strong positioning that works not only for our clients, Supercharging Progress, but also for our own people and our organization, the communities that we serve, as well as broad-based the planet. And out of the overarching positioning, we tightly connected our purpose, which is to bring together the best of technology and our people to supercharge progress. It's very easy. It's all very joined up and connected. And it's very much resonating just in the weeks since launch. It's rolling off the tongues of our employees easily. Mm-hmm. I think they're very appreciative of the fact that we are thinking across all four pillars. And the early reactions from our clients are excellent.
So Jill, a positioning and a branding exercise is so much more than a logo, but the most visible sign of any rebranding exercise is a logo and a catchphrase or a vision statement like Supercharging Progress. What goes into the making of a logo for a company like HCLTech? Colors, fonts, typefaces.
Yeah.
These things mean serious things in this world, no?
They do mean serious things. I never realized how also subjective color can be. And I will be honest with you, we looked at a lot of different colors before we landed on where we are. So you know HCL proper, the HCL parent group, has been around since 1976. Mm-hmm. And it's been a foundational household name for India, as we talked about earlier.
I've used HCL computers in the 80s
yes.
myself, and they were a hardware manufacturer, I guess.
Exactly. So we have so much respect for what Shiv Nader has done for the company, for the country of India, for millions of people around the world. And we knew no matter what we did, we wanted to retain the HCL logo, which is used in juxtaposition with HCLTech in many instances. And we really wanted to maintain that blue color somewhere in our visual identity. It really embodies trust and stability and strength. And as we looked at all of the variety of color combinations that can accompany blue, it did get somewhat subjective. And our CEO, C. Vijayakumar, as well as our chairperson, were very involved in looking at color choices. And we never thought we would actually go to market with two primary colors of a brand, but we did. Mm-hmm. And that's the purple color. So our primary brand identity has a merging or a gradation of purple and blue. And typically you'll see our logo reversed out of that gradated blue-purple color. And purple is more about power and ambition, and it's got a certain vibrancy to it. Some people might think it's tactical or a little bit arbitrary. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of work in getting those colors right. And then we've got a beautiful palette of secondary colors and then another palette that we can use internally. And I'm really proud of the way these colors have come together. Some people have said we've picked just the right tone, like they're accessible and warm, but bright and vibrant. And it's just beautiful to see us move from a brand that had a whole lot of blue and now an expansion into this variety of colors that really help us express ourselves more appropriately.
I hear you speak about your pillars of your marketing activities, both your vertical and horizontal activities. Give us a sense of what these pillars are.
It's a matrix. We have three different areas of marketing. We've got our corporate marketing team, which encompasses our digital, our corporate communications, our internal communications, our brand team. Then we've got our vertical or industry marketing, our line of business marketing, and our geographic marketing. And we've got the four pillars that I talked about earlier of clients, people, communities, and planet. It's very complex, but it's actually becoming more simple for us to tick and tie all of our marketing priorities now that we have a brand and key pillars of focus that have become a galvanizing force for all 400 plus marketers around the world. Plus, we've got our core themes of digital, engineering, and cloud. This now can all be on one page together as just a primary guidepost for all of our marketers. And in the past, as you might imagine, for a 220,000 person organization that goes to market across all industries in 52 countries, we were sometimes getting a little bit siloed in our thinking, and things weren't connecting up as well as they could have. And now that we've gone through this brand transformation, we've also simplified the way we go to market and really crystallized what our key priorities are across an organization, no matter what marketing team our marketer is
They
part
have
of.
the same reference
Exactly,
points to go
exactly.
back to.
I think I'm really
All right.
proud of that, and our website too has been completely transformed to also be reflective of everything I just told you.
Any tech business, HCL in particular, is a people business. So recruiting people, retaining them, employer brand. I imagine this occupies a large part of your marketing time or your marketing energies. Tell us a bit about your work in this area.
So critically important. Thank you for asking the question. As we've been going through the more external facing corporate brand transformation, we also worked with an agency and did a lot of qualitative and quantitative research to develop our employee value proposition. Our employee value proposition it's called Find Your Spark. And it's 3 simple words, but it's a culmination of a lot of work that we've done to understand what is it about the employee experience that at HCLTech that draws people here and keeps people here. And Finding Your Spark is all about our desire to offer learning and development opportunities and a lot of mobility for people to kind of self-direct where they want their career to go. And our people who stay at HCLTech year on year have told us that it's very exciting to take a journey at HCLTech because there are so many opportunities in so many different areas of the business. And we have a lot of people who have made lateral moves from one division or one line of business into another, from one corporate function to another. And it's all because we enable them to do that. And we care quite a bit about creating opportunities for people. And then we're going to try to operate with more consistency, no matter where you are in the world, taking the best things that we're doing in certain geographies and porting them into other geographies. So our employee value proposition was just launched. That Find Your Spark EVP will find its way into all of our recruitment marketing campaigns. We are not only recruiting day in and day out in the country of India, where we have 70% of our workforce, but we're moving into Eastern Europe. We're moving into Romania, Bulgaria, Poland. We just celebrated anniversaries in Brazil and Mexico, but we're moving into Costa Rica, Guatemala. So we are literally hiring in so many markets around the world, and in many cases multi-language, but this Find Your Spark EVP and all that lives under it, that too will be the galvanizing force in how we go to market with our recruitment efforts.
So Jill, a lot of young people, I'm told, want to work for companies with a clear sense of purpose. And a purpose is something that goes beyond profitability, goes beyond revenues, into sort of making the world a better place. And you, of course, have the HCL Foundation as part of the HCL overall corporate structure. But what opportunities does addressing this aspiration of the younger generation afford a marketer like yourself?
Purpose and CSR are critically important to our employee base and frankly to our clients as well. And as a marketer, I'm just going to say as a well-rounded human being, the HCL Foundation was one of the biggest sort of surprises and pleasant surprises I learned about as I was interviewing with HCLTech over a year ago. Mm-hmm. From everything I read on the website, it almost sounded impossible that this foundation was having the impact it was having. Mm-hmm. And when I came over here, I think it was last April, I was able to do some site visits with Nidhi Pundir, who is the leader of the HCL Foundation, into many of the disadvantaged communities that the HCL Foundation serves. As a marketer and / human being, my eyes were incredibly open to the power that the HCL Foundation has had. They've now touched over 5 million lives. And I think it's I feel fortunate that I am able to confidently have communities as a key pillar around my Supercharging Progress positioning, because it's real, it's alive, it's well. And as far as the overall employee population, we are encouraging all of our employees to engage in all of the volunteerism efforts that are possible through all of the programming that runs through the HCL Foundation. And aligned with our brand relaunch, Nidhi's role was also expanded to become the global head of CSR. So she's going to be really scaling all of the source code that has made the HCL Foundation what it is, into all of our markets around the world. It's so exciting. So yes, as a marketer and as a human being, the possibilities are endless. And it is so exciting to think about the impact we're going to be able to have now in other markets.
Jill, and you've spoken about this before. You're a big advocate of women in the workplace as well. How is HCL doing on the gender diversity front or the representation front?
On the gender diversity front, our numbers continue to go up every year. Our CEO, CBK, is very passionate about this topic. He is a member of an organization under the United Nations called He for She. He actually just spoke on a panel in New York, very, very focused on encouraging all of his direct reports to make gender diversity absolutely front and center for all of their hiring needs. I think we do really well in our corporate functions. We have to do better in putting female leaders on the front lines in the sales organization as well. And that is our big focus right now.
Is it part of your agenda to see more diversity on those fronts?
It is a passion point for me, and you will hear me speaking about it more and more, and engaging personally in recruitment efforts with other senior female hires.
Okay. Continuing this conversation about communities, HCL recently became the official partner of the MetLife Stadium. It's a very beloved stadium in the US, New Jersey. Now, I'm sure there are two aspects to this. One is, of course, the commercial aspects of creating software or creating services for a stadium like that. And the second is the emotional connection that stadium has with sports fans in the US.
Yeah.
Tell us about how this opportunity positions you in the US market.
Given that 60% of our business is from the US, this puts us on the map in the US in a very big way. We looked at a lot of sports partnership opportunities, and this one was right for us for a couple of reasons. First of all, many of our senior leaders inside of HCLTech, as well as a large portion of that client base, sit in the tri-state area of New York, New Jersey, Connecticut. We have a large office in New Jersey. We will be expanding our presence in New Jersey, and we've also got an office in Manhattan. A large employee population across the board in those three states. But the magical thing as well is that there is a stadium, one of the largest stadiums in the US that holds 83,000 people, that has two football teams that share the stadium, that had a cornerstone partnership opportunity available. Another large tech company had that partnership. And as part of that partnership, as you rightly pointed out, we are going to be doing a lot of work for MetLife, New York Jets, and New York Giants, but we also receive heavy branding rights all over the stadium and a fantastic networking suite on the 50-yard line that is our HCL suite over the next several years. And all of those things combined, the ability to do really great client and prospect networking and entertainment and employee engagement, plus the brand exposure, a lot of it on nationally televised TV, plus the opportunity to continue our efforts as the digital transformation partner for the teams and the stadium, as well as the official tech services partner. All of those things together really helped us believe that this was the right opportunity for us.
And you do know this is part of our covert agenda to get a cricket match into the MetLife Stadium, because we're not going to rest till we see a cricket game played.
Well, you know that FIFA is coming in 2026.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to try to do some skunk works operation to try to get cricket in there, I'm happy to help.
That's part of our secret mission.
And you probably know we're doing work with Cricket Australia.
I do.
And we're just doing work through our software division for cricket in Europe. Like actually, there's tournaments going on right now. So really working harder on creating and engaging fans, the overall fan experience, and digital transformation with stadiums and teams. That is a growing part of our overall business.
What is the perception of Indian IT, especially in the US? At one time, it was wage arbitrage, then it went to problem solving, then it went to business partnership. Where do we stand vis-a-vis the American eye or the American gaze?
I will be very honest with you. We've made a lot of progress. I came from a company in my past that was US-based and is a competitor to HCLTech. And I did have certain opinions of the broad-based IT tech services players back 10 years ago or so. Made huge progress since then. I think that we are viable competitors across many of the services that some of the US and European headquartered IT services companies provide. And in some cases, our clients want to give opportunities to some of the India headquartered organizations to come in as challenger brands. In fact, they say that we are going to run a challenger brand RFP. We've been working with some of these US-based providers. We want to give you an opportunity to come in. So we're seeing more companies who are deliberately saying, we want you to have a shot at our work because we've heard great things about all of the things that you and I talked about earlier. And we believe we've got this special sauce inside of HCLTech with our engineering roots. We've got a huge practice around engineering, and that is something that I think is really driving and infused into a lot of the work that we do in our overall digital space as well.
All right, Jill Kouri, final question for you. You're a big fan of Shts Creek. Tell us one thing you've learned from Shts Creek that you use in your marketing life or your job.
Okay, I am a big fan. I think that I could not survive without infusing humor in my life and in my everyday life. I never take anything too seriously. I'm a work hard, play hard person, and I hope that my marketing team sees me as such. So a day probably won't go by where I don't laugh about something, joke about something, and just demonstrate sort of my real authentic characteristics, because we're not curing cancer here. We're doing IT services.
Which may actually end up curing cancer.
Yes, that is a very good point. But yes, Shts Creek, favorite show. And thank you for asking the question, because it makes me smile when I think of it.
One of my favorite shows as well.
Awesome.
All right, Jill Kouri, thank you for talking to us at Melt.
Thank you so much.
That's a wrap on this episode. You can follow Melt on social media. The handle is ready2melt, or simply log on to ready2melt.com. If you'd like to follow me, I'm @Suvenk on Twitter. Till next week, goodbye and thanks for watching.